Selling books every single day? Not possible, Paul. Au contraire, my friend. This episode 120 of Horrible Writing.
That will never work. You can't publish that. Seriously? Don't. Oh my God, that's another thing you can do. That's bad. You probably should find other hobbies. You ever learn how to spell? Stop. Be happy. Quit while you're done. Don't bother me. I've seen better teachers. Do you really want to do And my third grade, give it up.
Welcome to Horrible Writing, the rawest, most candid, in-your-face writing show on the interwebs because none of us have time to suck. Let's do this. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 120 of Horrible Writing. I am your host, Paul Sading, and I hope this finds you well. It's spring, the sun is coming up, even in the Pacific Northwest in America. Who would have thunk it already? Makes me kind of excited. I want to send a message of encouragement because I'm kind of feeling like it's about time to do that again in this show. As I've grown, those of you who've been here from the beginning, you know what this show is all about. It's that digital diary, if I could speak, of my journey from know-nothing writer to actually published 5-time author, with 4 books in the works to come out maybe summertime. We'll see. I'm still looking into when I want to do it. Some nice urban fantasy, contemporary fantasy going on. For those of you who like Jim Butcher and Christopher Moore, stuff like that, you might actually enjoy what I've got in store for the world this upcoming summer. I'm excited. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I could talk about me all day long if you'd let me. But we're here to help you. Now, last year we talked about mindset. This year we're talking about that 2020 vision, creating that 2020 vision. One of the things that can derail us, throw us off the track forever, possibly. But if you're listening to this show, I doubt you're the type of writer who could get thrown off a track in perpetuity. Just not going to happen with you, right? But there are things and conditions, life conditions, market conditions, ebb and flow of the writing life that can really force us backward, throttle down on that productivity, have us just, you know what? I just don't feel like writing today, tomorrow, turns into next week, the week after, next month. These things happen. So in developing that 2020 vision, that perfect writing 2020 vision, one of the things that we need to think about is the validity to the statement that we can make money at this. Maybe it's just a few dollars here and there every month. Maybe it's enough to take that loved one out for a couple dinners every month. Maybe it helps fund a vacation a year. Maybe it pays for a car. Maybe it pays for a house. We don't know. But baby steps. This is all progressive, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. These things build on each other. So there's a couple things that have helped me realize daily sales. I have only been published since the early summer of 2018, so coming up on 2 years now. And I've just hit daily sales. Every single day I'm selling something. I don't make a ton every single day. Some days are better than others, but no days are phenomenal. They're not. They're not days that I could make a living off of. Not yet. But that's why I'm shifting into fantasy, besides the fact that I love it. And that's why I'm also going to pump out 4 books, if not get a 4th book. Well, I'm actually going to do 4 books and what is quickly becoming more than a novella, reader magnet, and maybe even a trilogy. We'll see how the rest of the year goes. But the reason I'm doing these things is because that momentum does start building. Some people have heard and talked about magic number 5, the 5th book being the book that does it for you. And I can't look at myself as a single data point, but that's all I know for sure, right? I don't pry into other people's business. I'll read blogs and reports and Facebook posts of people who share what they've experienced. But for me, that age-old adage, if you will, actually rings true. The Scales is my 5th book. I've got a horror anthology, Scales being a horror book, some suspense books like Rip and Chasing the Demon, right? A nonfiction book. I'm all over the place. I've done this bass-ackwards, if you will. You fill in what I was supposed to say there. And still, not following what the successful indie is supposed to do, I've still been able to realize daily sales. My plan and my hope, I don't plan on hope, I actually make real plans with tactics on how to achieve my goals. But my plan is that when the first 4 books of the Zodiac series come out, that's going to launch me to the next level. Now, in my most adolescent, wonderful dreams, that next level would be a full-time income from the existing 5 books plus the 4 books in the Zodiac series. I don't expect that. I want my goals, my ambitions to remain reasonable, within my grasp, something that stretches me, something to work toward, but nothing outlandish. So I don't expect the Zodiac to launch me into $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 months. I don't expect that. Doesn't mean I'm not going to work toward it, but I don't expect it. And I want to keep you encouraged on that. It's why I wanted to talk about that in this quick episode, is because there's going to come a time when you see all these other people having success and you're not. Maybe it is that you need to work on your craft a little more. Maybe it is that you didn't really, and you'll know yourself, you don't need me kicking you in the shins, but maybe you didn't get that professional editor that you should have gotten. The cover art doesn't really fly. My own book is struggling and I'm learning a lot about it. Rip, not the Scales, but Rip is really struggling. It's by far my worst performing book, even though it's my second latest release and the writing has matured vastly. It's still not doing what I would like it to do. And if Rip was my first book, and maybe even my only book or one of 2 books, and it was performing like it is, that would be really discouraging. So that's why I wanted to throw this out there for you. You know me. I hope you trust me. It took me 5 books before I saw daily sales of a couple bucks a day for some of those days, but every single day. That was a measuring stick for me, something I wanted to achieve, so I knew that I was reaching that next step. Now, one of the things that helped, tips, tools, and tactics, one of the things that did help was putting my existing reader magnet someplace where it could be seen. To get the plant, you had to sign up for my newsletter, or you trip across it on any of your book e-dealers, because it's wide. It's in every platform. But what I did was I went and I tested Story Origins and I put it out there. And as soon as I started doing that, I started seeing these daily sales of everything. Not all 5 books selling every day, but all of them involved. Over the course of a month, all 5 sell something. Scales is by far the best. So, taking advantage of tools like Story Origin really helped. Really, truly helped. And getting into newsletter swaps. This is something for us all to consider, something for us to look at in our own journey, something for us to consider, think about for ourselves. Don't hit the eject button too soon. 5 books, 5 books, 5 books. What is your goal for 5 books? financial goal, creative goal. Why are you doing this? This writing thing. If it is about money, at least in part, and there's nothing wrong with that, then what is that goal? And what do you do? How are you going to achieve that? That's what I want you thinking about. But I don't want you hitting the eject button too early when things just suck, because there are going to be times when that happens, especially if you're copying my poor model of not writing in a series in different genres, even including a nonfiction. Oh my God, what a mess I created. Don't be that. Be epic. If you enjoyed this episode and this show, please leave a rating and a review for it on your podcatcher, especially Apple Podcasts. Those help out immensely. If you want more exclusive stuff, we've got some more exclusive stories coming to the Patreon crowd only. Join me over on Patreon, patreon.com/Paul Sading. Every little bit helps keep this show going. Until episode 121, keep being epic.
Transcription by Renzi Lee over at Renzi Lee Freelancing. For fast turnaround times on content writing, transcription, and editing services, email Renzi at renzileefreelancing@gmail.com.
This has been Horrible Writing, and hopefully after this episode, you suck less than you did at the beginning. I am Paul Sading, your host extraordinaire. You can find me over on the Twitterverse at Writing Horrible and over at paulsading.com/horrible-writing. Until next time, suck less.